Hey Hebrew fans, this is Todd, and today I'm going to open up this Samurai He-Man, and I remember way back when they first released these. They had three of them. They had the Samurai Man-at-Arms, the Samurai Skeletor, and the Samurai He-Man. And if you bought three deluxe figures, you could send away. I don't know if it's the actual codes here, the receipts, whatever, and you can get a Moss Man. And I was like, Moss Man. So I did send away for my Moss Man a long time ago in a galaxy far away. But I ended up having to get two of these He-Mans because I didn't keep the receipt for the first one or the box. So let's open them up. Let's check them out. I know it's kind of a throwback because we haven't, looked at 2000X figures in a really long time. But he was one of my favorites for a long time. He's kind of cool the way they designed him. So let's check him out. So on the back of the box, they have some details about the figure, the parts he comes with, and everything else, and the breakdown of how he works, and some other figures in the line. You could see here is the Samurai Skeletor, and then here is the Samurai Man-at-Arms. The funny thing is it doesn't say Samurai on there. It just says Man-at-Arms, and then it just says Skeletor over there. All right, so let's go ahead and open this guy up. Hey, Andrew, thanks for joining us. Hey, Mike, thanks for being here. Now, I got another cool video to make soon. Is Mike got me something cool in the mail, and I opened it today. So I'm gonna make a video about that later on, but probably not tonight though. All right, let's get this guy open. Now, I bought this figure for one purpose and one purpose only, and I'll show you guys in a few moments why I bought him. For those that don't follow the channel all the time. Now, there is something kind of funny about this figure, and that is right here. This is an awesome sticker. I don't see it written on the box where it says awesome sticker included, but it used to say that on the box somewhere. I don't see it now. But anyway, there's the awesome sticker. Maybe it wasn't on the deluxe, maybe it was on the regular ones. And let's get them out of here. Ugh. Now, he does not come with a power sword. He just comes with this samurai sword here. So let's go and put that in his hand. And he has these giant boots. And in the cartoon, it was Ongat War armor. I forgot what they actually called it in the cartoon. But basically, the armor would make him jump super high and give him extra strength powers. He was almost indestructible. Indestructible! And so Skeletor and He-Man both threw the stones up, which I'm surprised they didn't throw him up for Man-at-Arms too and give him one too to match the toys. But they had a lot of episodes where they purposely just had just the toys in there for stuff. So he has two firing functions. One of them is his chest piece right here when you push the button here on his belly. Let me zoom in a little bit. And then it will fire. Ka-chink. And you can see now he has a hole in his chest. And you'll find a lot of one on eBay being sold with a hole in the chest. Well, that what was in there was that little chest piece. Now, I remember for a little while some people were making some really cool zombie He-Mans. And they would use this to put onto the He-Man figure, like the zombie piece embedded in the skin, which actually works pretty good for that. Now, whenever you load a launching tool, you always want to keep that button pushed in until it's loaded, and then that way you don't damage the inside. Now, one thing that would have made this really cool is the Samurai Raptor that came in the set. It had giant spring legs. You'd actually spring them up and down. This one doesn't have springs like it shows in the cartoon, but that would have been a really cool touch if these were actually spring loaded, so you can bounce them like Man-at-Arms, or like not Man-at-Arms, like Ram Man or something. And the second firing feature is his gun. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this is the same gun that we got with Zodak, but I'm not positive. I think the coloring's different, but it's the same styling, which it's kind of a strange looking gun. Oops, didn't mean to push the button already. Fit. Oh, it's a tight fit. But I'm not sure what's going on with the big old foot piece on the bottom there. It's like he has an anvil or an iron. Burr, burr, burr. But anyway, let's load it again. Load it again. And then you can take and you can shoot it. That was really lame. As far as it went. Okay. Let's try this again. Yeah, that spring is shot in there. There we go. Oh, no, I lost it. I will find it later. It's shot over into a pile of toys off to the side. All right, so why did I buy this Samurai He-Man? Well, you probably guessed because you see that figure in the background. And... oh, there he is. It's for this figure right here, the Slamurai. Slamurai. And I wanted to give him more of a samurai feel. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to give him parts from the Beastman Turtles and the parts from the Samurai He-Man. So once you do the mixing parts on there, but I was not a fan of the little sword. It's more like a ninja sword than a samurai sword, and this sword's cool but not cool enough, so I literally bought this figure just for the sword. Bom, 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 bom. Oh, and now he's almost complete. All it's left to do is to fix the shield. I don't even know if I even want the shield or not. I haven't decided yet if I want the shield or not. It does match nicely with the colors, but it's just the handle's too small, so I may have to make that handle larger to make it work. But now he's looking pretty cool. Now the head I used on him, it's stuck on there now, is actually the Rock. So that head actually is the Rock. All right, so let me put him back now that he has his samurai sword and is complete in my eyes now. Let's go ahead and break down the articulation from a 2000X figure. And you'll be surprised how little there is. It's very similar to the 80s figures. So first of all, we got leg movement. No boot, no knee, a little bit up here with the leg movement. It can move out as well as back and forth, not a lot. Then we have his waist moves, his shoulder, oops, snap, crack, pop, no elbow, and then his wrist turns. This side, same thing, shoulder, and then his wrist, and then of course his head. And all these He-Man suffered the same thing, and that is the hunchback. Hunchback He-Man! But it does usually have some sort of action feature. So in this case, if you give him back his samurai sword... no, I just got it. You can do the old slicer dicer. Firmly grasp it. Which was always kind of a fun feature that they had. So if you wanted to sit there and battle figures, you can do that with your figures. Let me do it in slow motion. Do 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 do. Now, with the He-Man, it worked. It made a lot of sense because he had his armor over most of his things and the stilts and everything else. But when it came to Skeletor, his helmet was over his hood. And Man-at-Arms, same way. It was like his armor was kind of over some of his weird Man-at-Arms boot stuff. So these do come off, as you saw. And you can actually put these on other figures. Let's try to find one here. Here we go. So here is an Origins He-Man. Let's see if it fits on him or not. I think his foot will be too small. Let's take a look. Yep, his foot is way too small for that. But you could balance them on there. If you had two on there very carefully, or stuff some in his shoe to make it bigger. Now it does also fit on classics, but it's really tight. So you have to take and heat it up first before you stick it on there. But anyway, so you can see the foot size difference between the two. So there you go. All right, let me check out your guys' comments. And let's see what you guys have to say. Wow. Let's see, Imperial, thanks for joining us. Luis, thanks for being here. Black Phoenix 77, thanks for joining us. Mike, thanks for being here. James. Let's see. I had that when it came out. I buy it when it came out. Yes. This came out in either 2002 or 2003. I don't quite remember exactly when it was released, but one of those two dates. Wah wah. Yes, please hit the like button. Bad posture He-Man. Yeah, it's so weird how they did that. They just gave him that hunchback. And that was one of my pet peeves, is they did it with all of the He-Man figures. I don't think the Ice Armor He-Man had the same hunchback, but you'd think if they were going to... Well, of course, they used the same body with 2000X. In fact, if this armor could come off, there are some slight changes, obviously. You can see here. You know what? Because a new sculpt, so they had to make that hole and the pieces for it. They should have just gave us a new torso. And they already had to resculpt it anyway. Now, these were sculpted by the Four Horsemen, and they did an amazing job with a lot of figures, both all of our classics and this figure as well. But it just seems kind of odd that they incorporated so much of the original figure in here. New armbands, though, but they're actually... Those chunks just glued on? No, the chunks are actually molded in. So they put them on there and then send them through the molds again or something, which is so strange. If you're going to spend the time to make new tooling, you think you would just do some other changes while you're at it. Oh, hopefully I didn't lose that. Oh, there it is. It landed in a box off of my table. All right, you don't get that. Oh, you're going to have this other cool one instead. You have to put it in this hand, though, because the handle's too big. Which I never got that, why the 2000X had these holes with their thumbs still connected, like the old Tila figure had in the 80s. So you can't put larger weapons in there. It has a larger bottom. All right, and you, after I should straighten the sword out. Look at that, it came out of the package bent. This will be your sword. Now, it's funny is I had another one of these swords, but I wanted to put it with my my Triclops, my custom one here, and I realized I took the sword out of his hand. I have no idea where I put his samurai sword now. I looked in the box, but I gave him this other sword from the Masterverse. This Triclops looks so cool. So if I would have known I already gave his sword away to somebody else, I would have hunted it down instead of buying another figure. But, oh well. So, let's see. Oh, I wish they had leg articulation. Yes. Especially ankle. Ankle is the most important because they always stood really strange because their ankles we leaned the wrong way. Let's see if you guys can figure out all the figures used to make this custom Triclops here. I will slowly rotate him. Slowly rotate. And see if you can tell me where all the parts came from to create this custom Triclops. Hey, JMax77, thanks for joining us. Gotta love those loose ankles. So you can tell the loose ankles are obviously from the first release figure sets of the classics. So his body is the original Triclops classics. I'll give you that. But the arms and the waist are actually from a different figure. Because the original Triclops arms are a different color, and so is his loincloth. Oh, yes, Luis, you are right. That is the vest from the Super Friends. Dun 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 dun. I think his name was also Samurai. I'm not sure. Yes, that's the Super Friends vest. And He-Man's shorts and He-Man's arms. In fact, it's probably He-Man's body, to tell you the truth. It's probably only Triclops boots and head. You know what? I'm pretty sure it is. It's actually He-Man's full body. and Triclops' head and boots. All right, well, that is pretty much all that I have. I know it's kind of a short video, but I just wanted to, it'd be fun to open this guy on camera. It's been so long since we opened up a 2000X figure. And again, he was a really cool figure when he came out. I really liked him a lot. I remember I used to pretend like he'd bounce all over the place. It's like they showed in the cartoon. I'd bounce him from one side of the house to the other. It was pretty cool. I know, I'm not a kid, and I'm probably going to have that one guy come on here like he does every single video. What, you play with your toys? Every video he says that, and he still comes and watches my videos. It's so funny. The guy's last name is Mason, and every time he's always giving me grief for playing with the toys. It's like, dude, you're watching me play with the toys. So, it's kind of funny. It always cracks me up. That's He-Man in disguise. Wah, wah, wah. He-Man in disguise. This one here. There we go. Yes, and I love the extra band I got from the Masterverse. Nice touch. I tried using the armor from the Origins version. It just did not work at all. I like that they match the colors. Probably hasn't matched the colors on here. Let's see. We got blue instead of orange. Yeah. Oh well. And Masterverse's hands are a little bigger, so the sword is like super tight in his hand, so you will not drop it. You can knock it, and nobody's knocking this swordman's sword out of his hand. I took my pledge to Jeffrey's Draft seriously. Never grow up. Yes. Yes, I've been accused of having Peter Pan syndrome, so I totally get it. Thanks, Mike. Yes, join the lounge. The link's in the description. If you are not on Facebook, just make up a He-Man name for yourself and join Facebook, and then come join the lounge. I know Facebook wants you to use your real name, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. If you're just going to use it for He-Man stuff. Besides that, remember, the guy who made Facebook made it originally to pick up women. So there you go. Its foundations were not made in good stuff. I was watching this baking show with my wife today, and this guy got eliminated, and the guy next to him almost got eliminated, and they went and they shook hands, and I kid you not, it was like this much difference in height. I was telling my wife it's like a head and a quarter. It's actually more than this. And I realized at that moment that I have all these figures that are all approximately the same height. I guess it's really not that big of a deal to have some shorter figures. So I don't feel bad now at having my my minis, as I call them, or the shorter He-Man figures. Because there are actually people in life that are shorter. Now, granted, the other guy was taller than normal. So, oh, Mike says we're close to 600 members in the lounge. Nice. I saw someone use a vintage visor on Origins. I bought a vintage one to try it. I'm afraid of the breaking the vintage one. Yes, probably really easy to break. Yeah, just buy another vintage one. Make sure it's like really inexpensive. The only thing you need to worry about is the head being good. So if the hands are chewed or the legs are chewed or it's got marks on them, you know, just buy one of those so you don't have to worry about damaging a figure that's actually worth something. Hey, Moto Sean, thanks for joining us. All right. I think this is the end. This is the end. Now I'm still updating one more figure, and that is my Ninjor. And so Ninjor will still be updated with one more video to finish my final updates. I got parts in the mail coming to me to finish my Ninjor, and then I will have Ninjor. And you know what? I don't want to call this guy Slamurai. I mean, dressed like this, sure, maybe. But when he's like this, his name should be Ghost, right? This makes much more sense because he's stealthy, he's sneaking around, he's all in white. It makes more sense to call him Ghost or something instead of Slamurai. That's just the worst name in the world. I don't know who came up with it, whether it was Pixel Dan or somebody else or whoever, but Slamurai is just, I know it was a fan coined name, but he's not even in samurai gear, which is why I had to do this to give him the samurai look, because it was driving me crazy. So this one, Slamurai. This one, Ghost. Boom, boom, boom. Now you see him. Now you don't. Oh, Shinobi. Yes, that's so cool. Now I have to look that up and see exactly what that means. I know it's a video game. That does sound cool, though. Slamurai. Anyway. All right, you guys. Thank you for joining me. And like Mike says, please subscribe. I got videos all the time. Well, not this week. I've been kind of slacking. I haven't made a video since last Thursday. But usually I do. And stay tuned for some more cool stuff. And like they say in the 1987 movie, a good journey. Bye now.